First up on the show, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is meeting top Israeli leaders in Israel to make a renewed push to seal a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Calling it a decisive moment in the Gaza ceasefire talks, Blinken said it was probably the best, maybe the last opportunity to get the hostages home. Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem earlier today, while in Gaza, the Israeli forces have thrust deeper into Khan Yunis in the latest phase of their assault. He also met with the Israeli President Isaac Herzog before heading into a meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister. As talks commence, Israel's former Prime Minister Yair Lapid accused Netanyahu of deliberately sabotaging the ceasefire deal. He wrote on his X page, and I quote, "What Netanyahu has been doing this past day is a deliberate and dangerous act of sabotage of the possibility of reaching a hostage deal. He needs to stop with these unnecessary measures and messages." Blinken is on his 9th trip to West Asia since the Gaza war began last year. Speaking before meeting the Israeli president, the top U.S. diplomat said Washington is working to ensure that there was no regional escalation amid concerns over a possible attack by Iran on Israel.
This is a decisive moment, probably the best, maybe the last opportunity to get the hostages home, to get a ceasefire, and to put everyone on a better path to enduring peace and security. I'm here as part of an intensive diplomatic effort on President Biden's instructions to try to get this agreement to the line and ultimately over the line. It is time for it to get done.
The U.S. Secretary of State will travel to Cairo on Tuesday, where ceasefire talks will resume. In Tel Aviv, one person was killed after a bomb he was carrying in his bag went off. Israeli authorities later said that the explosion was a terror attack. Islamic Jihad and Hamas have claimed responsibility for this. Now, the attack came as Israel continued to pound the Gaza Strip. Gaza health authorities claim the Israeli strikes across Gaza have led to 24 deaths over the weekend. This includes a woman and her 6 children. Another Israeli airstrike hit a residential building in Nuseirat on Sunday, and Hezbollah claimed to have thwarted an attempt by Israeli forces to penetrate the Lebanese territory from the Habab Eta forest area. Israel said that several people were injured in the cross-border fire with Lebanon. The Israeli military claimed that multiple targets crossed into Israel from Lebanon, adding that some were intercepted and others landed in the Yara area in northern Israel. Blinken's visit comes days after the U.S. and fellow mediators Egypt and Qatar said they were closing in on a deal, but recent statements from Israel and Hamas do not match the optimistic tone of the mediators. For the very latest on where West Asia is with those hostage talks and a negotiation on the ceasefire, our correspondent Jody Cohen sent us this report from Israel.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is on his 9th visit to the region since Hamas's 7th of October attack against Israel. His mission to try to push Israel and Hamas to agree to a hostage release and truce deal. In Israel, Blinken called this a decisive moment and said the deal was perhaps the last chance to bring the hostages home. However, while mediators have appeared somewhat optimistic, Prime Minister Netanyahu and Hamas have appeared less so. One key sticking point appears to be the Israeli control of the corridor and crossing between Egypt and Gaza. Israel wants this to prevent future arms smuggling to Hamas, while for Hamas this is considered a way for Hamas to survive and maintain its rule over Gaza. After Secretary Blinken's meetings in Israel, he'll travel to Egypt for further meetings on Tuesday before talks are expected to resume this week. This is Jody Cohen for WION World as One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.